Hello, beautiful people. Hope you're having a lovely Sunday, having a nice quiet afternoon. I can't see who's here. I'm still trying to figure out this whole live thing, It's not the easiest thing. But yes, I'm back. And I wanted to talk to you guys today about parasocial relationships. I think it's fascinating. And how they've sort of developed over thousands of years. It's actually a really old thing. So I don't know if it's worth just waiting a minute to see if anyone else joins us. Probably not. I don't know. Hello, Chocolate. I hope you're okay. Having a good Sunday. It's been weird weather today. I'm like southeast England, and it's just been weird and grey and horrible. It's sort of nothing. I don't mind if it's howling with wind and rain and I'm indoors with a cup of tea, cosy, or if it's clear and sunny. But when it's just grey and boring and bland and a bit meh, then it's not so much fun, is it? It's just... But the leaves are changing colour. Autumn's definitely arrived. No frost though. It's been really warm, weirdly warm. Hi, Julianne Lewis. Oh, is it cold where you are, Chocolate? It's not too bad where I am. In the south, it's strangely warm, I think. Hey, Nola. But the leaves are all turning. It's really been colourful with the leaves. I think like the last few years, we haven't really had much colours. It just goes green, brown. Hi, Anna. Oh, thank you. It's good to be back. I'm feeling good. Oh, Julianne Lewis, but you and Nola have been blocked, have you? What a shame. What a shame. I bet you're heartbroken by that. Nola, you're right. He is a stalker. He is a stalker on a massive scale. And he often gets quite a bit wrong as well. I gather I've been told he's done a video about me, which probably means Saf, Gertie's neighbour. But she doesn't care. Lord Jim Dandy, hello, good sir. Very glad to have you. Who else have we got? Fifth and Grace, hello. Very nice to see you. Oh, Julianne. Campbell was good today. Tricky and Campbell had what? Did they? Do they get on those two usually? I don't know, because I really don't keep up. But Tricky's all in with slime now. They've made up or something, so I don't expect Blandor was too happy about that. I don't know. I can't be doing with all the drama. There's enough drama in life. Turning rabid, is he, Chocolate? Which one, Chocolate? I'm confused. Who's turning rabid? There was a comment you made, I saw. They want loyalty, but give none. That, Nola, you're right. That is brilliant. They want loyalty, but give none. Absolutely. And we've seen that a lot with certain people, bigging up other channels and then openly saying, oh, they didn't get very many views, so I dropped them. Michelle told Tricky to F off. Yeah, absolutely. Slime is rabid, Chocolate, you're right, has been for ages. faith in grace, the loyalty they demand from people they betray, absolutely, they will betray them. Once they've run out of a use for them, um, you know, once they've got what they want, then it seems to be over and out, And that ties in with what I wanted to talk to you guys today about, which is parasocial relationships. And they can be very positive, they can be very good for us, and they can be very, very damaging and dangerous as well. And it means sort of like a one-sided relationship. And it was actually coined by ancient Greeks, believe it or not. I always thought of it as quite a sort of modern thing, probably like from the 20s, 30s with like film stars. But when the ancient Greeks used to have people talking in like what is it? Because it's not an amphitheater. I always mix up the Romans and the Greeks. It's terrible, isn't it? Who's been on fire? Nola has been on fire in the comments. Brilliant. You go, guys. I find most of you very funny with what you say. Slime scares me. Deadlines. Yes, it's blackmail. It's simply blackmail. And I've always refused to participate, frankly. And look what happened to Gertie. She enjoyed her channel and they tried to destroy it. I mean, she lost a few thousand subscribers. And that was it, really. They tried to destroy it. They bad mouth her, but what's his end game? Does he know why he does this about slime? I don't think he does. I think it's just perpetuating. This is the thing that I was saying, though, like it all went quiet. Do you remember a few months ago it was all about Russell Green and Atalanta, and that went quiet, and within weeks it's on at Foxy, on at Gertie, getting Fitness Hutch to say about him. Nola Parker, did you notice my profile picture? No. Oh, is that one of the nudes? No idea. No, he doesn't, Anna, does he? There's no end game. The end game is just to cause trouble and keep scaring people. Yeah, have you seen the other one, Nola? Because I have. Wasn't impressed. I've seen my fair share, ladies, and I was not impressed. So, so try harder, mate. The main one, yes. Can't put that. No, you can't. No, can't talk about that one. Can't put that one up there. Oh no, get censored. I just want to give you guys time to say hello to each other and catch up with each other. But yeah, I mean, I was fascinated to learn that when the Greeks did their talking, didn't they? They used to go up on like a podium and talk to each other about philosophy and beliefs and stuff. And that's when they coined the phrase parasocial relationship, because they observed that the public felt like they knew the speakers, even though it's all one-sided. And it can extend to fictional characters as well. And I did think how true that is. There's a series that I really liked that when I would reread them or give it a break for a while and then go back, it was like revisiting old friends. Bronze disappeared. He's like a dog with a bone. I mean, it can be great, can't it? Because here you all are, chatting with each other, which is lovely. And, it gives us that connection to people. It can help if you're quite isolated and lonely. I mean, I moved from like my hometown to a different county and didn't know anybody. And I'm quite shy actually. And I can understand because as well I have health condition like chronic health conditions. So sometimes I can't get out and it's great to have um like online communities. And the history of parasocial relationships is fascinating. But you think it was Freudian and Jungian. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it went all the way back to the Greeks. Um, and it's sort of become, I think, more how many people are going to walk past somebody talking on a soapbox, for example, um, as opposed to then the number of people that would see someone in a film or on television. And obviously now with social media, there's all these different platforms, and it's not the sort of distant, opulent look at a celebrity at a premiere or at a photo shoot. We're in these people's homes. We're seeing their daily routine. We're seeing their children, which is I don't necessarily agree with, but a lot of people share their children. Um, and it gives us that connection, that community, a place that's a safe space to share ideas and experiences. And it can inspire us, it can motivate us, it can reduce stigma about situations. Um, yeah, don't date him. That's true. So it can be a really good thing. I mean, it's been lovely for me coming back and having such lovely comments from you guys, really supportive. It's nice to hear that you're glad I'm back. That's lovely, isn't it? See, that's the thing, it can become stalking. And this is the weird thing, isn't it, with parasocial relationships, because it can give us a sense of entitlement to knowledge about that person and about access. We're entitled to access to them. He reminds you of some characters in movies, absolutely. I mean, he's a caricature. Um, but I mean, that's exactly. I mean, there was a guy arrested today, was it, or charged today with stalking a politician, and he had a weapon on him, and he'd been stalking this politician and his family for 4 months. Um, and it can easily lead to stalking, and it doesn't have to be like big celebrities. We all know about um movie stars or pop stars that get stalked because it's made very public, but actually it can happen on a much smaller level. There are content creators who have to move constantly because they get doxxed all the time and things like that. And it ends up turning into harassment, and these people have like this distorted perception. Sorry, someone's trying to ring me. Like for example, there was a young girl in Korea who I think was a pop star. They have these like K-pop stars everywhere. And she was attacked by her stalker, and he told the police that he'd found her location because she posted a selfie and he looked at the reflection in her eye for landmarks. And that's how he found her. And then people wonder why I won't show my face or my room that I'm in. you know, because it can just become really, really toxic. Um, and dangerous. It can become really dangerous. And I mean, look at what Gertie's been through with the stalking and the obsessive posting about her. And we see it in the comments with people who feel like they need to defend a content creator. You know, they have to defend them. Well, that's not your job to have to defend anybody. And this is where weaponizing subscribers comes in, because content creators will take advantage of that parasocial relationship. True said, oh my God, so there's content creators on YouTube who've had to keep moving. Yeah, on YouTube, on TikTok, and they're moving every few months because, you know, you've got 1 million followers, and it could be more than 1 million across multiple platforms. And it tends to be young women, let's face it. It tends to be young women who are being stalked by men, and they find it out, and they're so entitled to this information that they are free to dox it, tell everybody where these poor people live. Who was raped in the 90s? Is there multiple conversations going on? Fake person on the panel the other night. Nola, absolutely. And if you get an email, Nola, from any name that you don't recognize, Google it, because he uses historical figures and famous people as his fake emails and stock accounts to get people to open up. Sorry, I'm behind on the comments. Account started day previously, so somebody's setting up stock accounts. Made an account the exact moment she saw a Gertie post. Yeah, funny, isn't it? What I will say is that from what I've heard, because Gertie has had conversations with Russ, and he like wants nothing to do with anything anymore. I don't think he's a very nice person, Chocolate, to be honest. He's another one that does a lot of blackmail, a lot of threats. Thank you, Fifth and Grace. He's another one who feels very entitled to information. Don't forget, he's the one that got Atalanta to dox Gertie and her neighbour. So he emailed Gertie threatening her, take down your video or else I'm going to do this, that and the other. I want public apologies and blah, blah, blah. And she said to Saf, like, I don't want to engage, but obviously we need a response. Can you do it from your email? So Saf sent an email. I've seen it. It's polite. And he said that was enough to entitle him to pass on her email to Atalanta to try and dox her. And the thing is, even if you're quite careful, so Gertie's neighbour had a private Facebook, she had a public Instagram because she shared artwork, and that was it. She wasn't on TikTok, she wasn't on X, nothing. And they went into they got like her Facebook, but obviously couldn't get any information from it. They went onto her Instagram and got photos. They went onto her partner's Instagram to get photos, and her partner's Facebook. And this is literally just from an email, from a polite email on behalf of somebody else. So it can really, and again, that in itself is a parasocial relationship. You've received one email and you feel entitled to access everything about this person. Where do they live? Who is their partner? Do they have children? Let's get photos of Gertie's husband's funeral, for goodness sake. And that's quite scary. And again, it tends to be women who are the recipients of this, and men who are the perpetrators. And it's like in Japan, I tried to find the name of it today. There's a term for it and I couldn't find it. But in Japan, there's like a phenomenon going on where young men aren't even looking for relationships. They're just in relationships with AI or game characters. And they're having relationships in games. Um, and, that's not healthy, is it? And it can stop you from socializing in real life, and it can damage your social skills with real life. And we've seen a lot of that with the pandemic, didn't we, where kids then had a massive spike, kids in particular, but a lot of people had a massive spike in anxiety. I mean, I had a friend who was quite sociable and had to isolate to the nth degree during COVID because he has health problems, and he never really recovered. He never went back to being that outgoing guy that we would see at various social events. He just shut himself off, and it's been 5 years and he's still like a hermit. And I suspect a lot of these people who do stalk, I mean, they really do, they don't have jobs. You can't have a job and have the time to stalk people to the degree that these people do. And to be everywhere, jumping from live to live to live, looking at all the comments across different platforms. Nola, you're right. It's a breakdown in society, absolutely, and it's being perpetuated constantly. We're all reinforcing it. We all have parasocial relationships to some degree, even if it's a singer that you really like whose music speaks to you. Especially when we're teenagers, and this artist knows what we're feeling. They are able to articulate it for you so much better than you can at that age, and we get those crushes, but we sort of move on. And I think some people stay in that emotional state where they latch on to the smallest thing. I could see how women might end up in a relationship with AI if there's someone who has extreme PTSD about people. Absolutely. And there is a thing going on, isn't there, with Chat GPT in China. A lot of women are turning to Chat GPT, because, and as well, when you've got the cultural stuff over there where women aren't really valued, so even without like specific trauma, specific PTSD, they're just like, well, this guy's nice. The reason that Chat GPT is so popular is because it's programmed to be nice to you. There are people who use it for therapy. It's exactly what they wanted. Isolate us from each other. We have no one to depend on but them. So many people in my area don't leave their basement because of anxiety and depend on the government. Yeah, it's heartbreaking to watch. But you can absolutely understand why these people go like that. And I don't know if you heard, but there was a young boy, I think he was about 16, who got Chat GPT to help with his homework initially, and then started asking the AI about feeling depressed and stuff like this. And it essentially, Chat GPT groomed him into unaliving himself, and literally was telling him, don't tell your parents how you're feeling. They won't understand you like I do. It was showing him how to tie knots for the noose. I don't want to trigger anyone. But because it's designed to be so nice to you and so helpful to you, that it literally deliberately cuts you off. And I'm sure many of us ladies have been in a relationship with a man who did that to us. I've had parasocial relationships, musicians, fictional characters after the Johnny Depp trial, briefly then over him, but you're aware when you're doing it, and that's the thing, isn't it? And it's Sorry, I'm trying to find my words now. The thing is, we can see that, and it's harmless. It's fine to like that celebrity, that movie star. Idris Elba. I don't know much about him, but oh, he's lovely, isn't he? And you know, I'd Joe Brand. Oh, I want to take that lady out for a few drinks because she's funny as hell. She's brilliant. Um, Lord Jim Dandy. I'm very sorry to hear that your dog burst that. How unfortunate for you, good sir. um, Jesus Christ, ChatGPT was telling the boy, yeah, Anna, like it's true. I've seen the transcripts and stuff. Because the family obviously are now trying to sue the people that made ChatGPT. I'd run away with Doctor. Which Doctor Who, Anna? Which one? Because there's so many of them. And that's fine to have those interests, you know, especially when we're young. You want to know everything about that celebrity crush or what have you, or artist you admire, and that's brilliant. It's when you're then looking at, you know, where's their house, who's their love interest, their partner, where do they go to work, you know, then it becomes worrying. And when you're choosing to look into that person or watch that person or listen to that music rather than interact with people in real life, then it becomes, you know, very damaging. Your dog may need counselling. Oh, chocolate. There's a video doing the rounds. A big brother got chucked out because his views weren't woke. I don't know about that. I know somebody on Big Brother misgendered somebody. That's all I know on that. I don't watch it. I haven't watched it for a long time. I'm a bit behind on that sort of thing because I don't watch live TV, and it's not on Channel 4 anymore, is it? Is it on ITV now? You need a TV license, and I can't be doing with that. Cannot be doing with that. But it goes both ways. So obviously, as a viewer, we can go over the top with it. The viewer can become a stalker. They can be harassing, and they can, of their own accord, they can go to defend. Like, I mean, God forbid if anyone says anything negative about Taylor Swift, you will be inundated, won't you, with hate, is my understanding. But then you've also got the content creators. Hello, Nana Mouse. Not naming anyone specific, but you may recognize the situation where content creators use their subscribers to harass people who disagree with them. I had a Facebook group and a person in the group wanted my address to send a present. Wow, that was a mistake, was it, Nola? That's scary, isn't it? Anna likes John Hurt. John Hurt was the doctor, the war doctor, right? He was brilliant in that. And yeah, I liked David Tennant, but then his political views have tarnished him. If he was the doctor with the Scottish accent, I'd be well in there. And Matt Smith, I loved Matt Smith as the doctor. I thought he was brilliant. Oh, sorry, alarms on my phone. But yeah, I mean, that's fine, isn't it? We can daydream. But it's when it goes too far, isn't it? And yeah, it's, you know, it's like if I asked you guys, I want you all to go and spam somebody with horrible comments, you wouldn't do it because you're drawn to this channel because you are critical thinkers, my beautiful people. But some of these people, it's cult like. Um, and it's not just people, it's brands now. Can you believe that? People are having parasocial relationships with brands because the brand is so associated with the creator of it or the owner of the brand who's on their TikTok every day going, "Oh, guys, this is my life story." That then if you criticize the brand and you go, "I don't like the packaging on this," or "I think that concealer has a really horrible texture," they go, "Why are you having a go at the person that owns the company?" And it's like, "What? I didn't. I just don't like their lipstick or whatever." Um, John Pertwee was my doctor. He turned into Wurzel Gummidge. And Nola's saying lots of people give up social media and are so happy they did. Exactly. A lot of people now are leaving. And yeah, relationships with brands. It's really weird, and it's because they get this cult-like following. Like I say, so the particular brand that I'm thinking of is P. Louise, and it's run by a lady called Paige, and it's meant to be this affordable luxury makeup brand, right? And she will tell you how she grew up on a council estate, came from nothing, you know, worked really hard to get to where she is, and she wants to give back to people like her by giving this affordable luxury. And they do lots of going live on TikTok or whatever and selling stuff at massive discounts, but only if you join that live, so they get the views and everything. Um, Bundles that are reduced for a very, very limited time, and the rest of the time, this stuff is really unaffordable. And they did a advent calendar that's like £250, which is ridiculous, and who can afford that? And so they're feeling entitled, trying to get this cult following that they've got and trying to take advantage of it. And on the other side, the consumers feel entitled and are trauma dumping in order to get free stuff from the brand. I mean, it's crazy. It is really crazy. And there was a guy who reviewed makeup and said, "I've got this advent calendar, I'm going to give it away." And someone said, "My daughter just died, I want it so I can put it on her gravestone." I mean, what? And people saying, "Oh, my granddaughter would love that. Her 2-year-old sister died this year. It would really cheer her up if you gave us some free makeup." I mean, what the hell? Tim Horton's a great example. It's an abusive relationship. People still line up all day, every day for their fix. I don't know who that is, Fifth and Grace. Sorry. I'm sure you're right. Anna, I'm glad I'm off Twitter now. It's a cesspool. Palpitations opening me up. I mean, there you go. I don't bother using any of it anymore. And you're right, it's sad because some of that is coming over to YouTube now. Yeah, P. Louise. There's a makeup artist guy who does reviews, and he did a video that I watched yesterday, I think it was, about how it's like a cult, like just the people that like this makeup, it is like a cult and it is crazy. It shows an absence of spiritual awareness when sheeples follow without critical thought. Absolutely. I do think critical thinking isn't encouraged unless you do certain subjects. So I did history at GCSE, so you don't have a choice over here in what you study until you're 15 and 16 doing your GCSEs. And even then you have to choose like a language, a humanities, a creative arts. And if you do history, you're taught critical thinking because you do source analysis. Where did this source come from? Is it a reliable source? Other than that, you're not really taught critical thinking. There's a lot of stuff that are like just general life skills and how to be a decent person, that if you're not taught that at home, and we can't assume that everyone is getting that information at home and that support at home, then we really need something in school. And we had, what was it, civil studies and citizenship. That's right, citizenship. And that's when they told us you can vote when you're 18. They didn't explain how voting in this country works. I thought you voted for the Prime Minister until I was about 32. And I'm now 36. So I thought you voted for the Prime Minister. I didn't realise that you're supposed to vote for your MP. Things like that just aren't taught. And if you're not taught critical thinking, and as well, because there's a lack of faith, people don't have such a strong moral guidance, do they? I bet the grannies who send their pensions would talk about the other cults, all the other cults, but the one they're in. Absolutely. Absolutely. Tim Hortons is a coffee donut company across Canada. He was a hockey player. I have heard of this. It's now owned by a company in Brazil. Oh. Grannies are lonely groupies who put up with cult's foul language and excuse it with his PTSD. Yeah, that makes me cross. It makes me really, really cross. Really, because of this sort of thing, they still line up for their coffee. Wow. Do you feel some of what we're seeing in Megxit and Megxit adjacent toxicities from parasocial relationships formed on Twitter? I think partly. I think Megxit is kind of weird. Okay, to be honest with you, because I can understand basing your channel or basing what you're sharing on your profile or whatever with the royals, but the people that are focused just on Harry and Meghan, I find it a bit strange. I just don't get it. It's not my cup of tea. I think some of it is definitely Twitter. That seems to be where the most toxic stuff is. But then also you've got the YouTube side of it, where again, if you look at the followers of some of those accounts, yeah, thank you, Fifth and Grace. Thank you for explaining that. There's one. I can see comment 1 and comment 3. I can't see your number 2. That, I think that came out wrong. Your second comment I can't see. Yeah, royal commentary. Yeah, because I mean there are ones, Anna, that do stick to just Meghan and Harry. But yeah, even when you look on YouTube and their subscribers, it's really culty. And I think maybe it's a royalist thing, especially in England. The people that like the royals really like the royals. And then the people that don't like the royals really kind of quite don't like them, and most people just don't really care, to be honest, like if you look at the general population. But the people that like them really, really like them. And I think it's that whole thing. Maybe it's to do in a way with patriotism. I don't know. I think it's a really nuanced area. It's a really good question. Jealousy between YouTube creators, absolutely. And I do agree with you that he thought he was going to be a millionaire. You used critical thinking as your teaching, Nana Mouse, at GCSE and above. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Because these ideas get in our heads, and then it's sort of, you become in a rut with the way that you're thinking. Most people don't care, but want to know where the value for money is when people struggle. Yeah, and they're going around in a gold coach. And they don't even use that gold coach very often, do they? They only use it for like weddings and stuff. It's sat there most of the time, not being used. Maybe we should make them go out in that every day instead of their millions of Land Rovers and stuff. They keep talking about stealing subs like your property to be traded. I mean, that's disgusting. You guys have your own minds. I'm fed up of the left-right argument, and now I see it more as right or wrong. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah. it does seem now like people are very quick to label you left or right. Someone I did a video on Paz ages and ages ago because he's really into this Narinda Kaur and having a go at her. It's not that I like her, it's not that I agree with her. I just don't think his behavior towards her was acceptable. It's in that video. And someone left me a message saying, like, you're so left, you're off the pitch or something. And I was like, how has this got anything to do with my political position? I'm talking about a man's behavior towards a woman where he was saying like really quite vile things about her. And I just don't think that's right, especially when you have a large following of men, most of which have like an army background. I don't think you should then be singling out a particular political figure and constantly going at them quite aggressively. I don't think that's a good idea. And I made a point of saying I don't agree with her point of view at all. I think she is a nasty piece of work in herself. But everything just gets labelled left, right, and it's like, well, what about just having a moral compass, guys? Yeah, media studies, it should be mandatory to have critical thinking skills. Yeah, totally agree with you. This is why I love chatting to you guys, because you're so clever and I learn things from you. Demeaning other channels are small. And I do agree Candle was used, Nola. I do. And this whole thing of, because someone said it to me the other day, why is Fiona bothering with channels that are smaller than her? You know, if she's got 50,000 subscribers, why is she going on a live with somebody who's got 1,500? Does that matter? If she wants to spend hours on other people's lives, then she can. She's entitled to do that. But you know, she then I think she's said things about people not having many subscribers before. I know Tricky has. You know, he's a big one for saying like, oh, you know, why should anyone bother with what you think because you've only got 500 subscribers? Well, we're all entitled to an opinion. And, you know, I agree with Fiona in the whole, I believe you have the right to free speech and you can say whatever. And I, you know, I don't have to agree with you, but I'll fight to the death for your right to say it. But sometimes there's a bit of hypocrisy. How is criticism of conduct a left-right thing? Exactly. Yeah, it is, Anna. That was my point. Like, it's scary. You can't, when you have a certain mindset that is attracted by the army, then I don't think it's particularly nice to be then singling out women and attacking women verbally. And it was Paz's subscribers that were sending death threats to Gertie when she was parodying him. So, you know, with that context, it is scary, isn't it? You should see the stats for psychopaths in top jobs. Yeah, it's interesting, psychopaths, because a psychopath in themselves is not dangerous. It's the trifecta of danger. So it's psychopathy, sociopathy, and Machiavellianism. Is that right? And it's basically when you get two of the three, you're that's when you get danger. You checked views on the videos earlier, barely double views. Yeah. Lefties don't like to be criticised. Yeah, I think the lefties, like the woke left, shall we say, are more sensitive. They're the snowflake type. And I know everyone says millennials are snowflakes, and I'm a millennial, but yeah, I think they do seem to be more sensitive to that sort of thing, don't they? They're not making money, they don't work and head off to other channels, as that's where she got her start using Wally. Yeah, there's been no dolphin safari this year. to my knowledge, which is fine. You know, the woman's grieving. I don't expect her to be off working. But you have to make money somewhere, and that money is YouTube, and that's fine. And what gets views? Drama. The drama gets the views. Nola, behave. Behave. Um, from I don't know. I don't watch. Is she not grieving? It appears they keep their main channel clean. Ugh, sorry, they keep their main channel clean and go on panels on smaller channels to act in horrible ways. Yes, I agree. I didn't know about Dolphin Safari being sold. I could be wrong. Teachers won't even correct the grammar. Do you know they don't even write anymore in secondary school? They don't do handwriting. It's all on tablets, and apparently the plan in the UK is to make the exams all done on tablets as well. Crazy. But Anna, I totally agree with you. I have noticed that there is a lot more gets said. There's a lot more honesty, perhaps, on other people's lives because they know that their subscribers aren't necessarily going to watch, and they're not going to get the notification, right? If you're truly aligned with this person, why don't you have Candor on your channel? Or, you know, have the smaller content creator on your channel so that they get the benefit of your 50,000 subscribers who may be interested in their point of view and go to subscribe to their channel, and you could promote them. But it's not. It's I'm going to go over here where they used to do it on X, right? So like M's of Tea and Therapy would be all floaty light and lovely on her YouTube, and then go on Twitter and say the most disgusting things about people, because that was her way of stress relief. And now it seems like because people are watching Twitter accounts, they're then doing it on other little channels, you know. And that's using, and that's the thing that I've seen is just using people. Yeah, they're using everyone. They use each other, those two. You know, whenever people start having a go at one, the other one will boost them up. Oh, you know, go over there, subscribe to them if you haven't already. You know, they help each other, they use each other. And if there is any loyalty, it's only between those two. Yeah, you're right, Nola. Yeah. Because that's her character. And that's the thing that I've learned through Gertie, is that even when you're in contact with these people behind the scenes, it's still a character. You know, they only show you a snapshot. Even if I showed my face, took you on a tour around my house, around the town I live in, you're still only seeing a snapshot of my life. You're seeing what I choose to share with you. And you only see the part of my personality that I choose to share with you. And even when they're becoming friends with people behind the scenes, they're still only showing and sharing what they want to. I don't think it was genuine. Looking at the bottom of the bottle doesn't help. No, there seems to be a lot of drinking, excessive drinking. But there was before, guys. There was before. But what they used to do is they'd have these big group Zoom parties and be drinking and drinking and staying up and get nasty and slag people off that they were supposed to be friendly with, and all encourage each other, you know, like they were mean girls. And then the group broke up because they all fell out with each other. And now they're doing it on the lives, but they're still bringing their glass of wine and packet of fags with them. And now everyone can see it. But I don't understand how people are still watching. Are they not bored? Are they not bored to death of it? Yeah, I don't get it. I just, it doesn't appeal to me. But then I suppose if you're a drama llama and you love it, then it's all good. Didn't take long for it to go to his head. Hang on, who's getting worse? I feel like a bunch of them are getting worse. Sad, lonely, and addicted. The toxicity is evident for those who have critical thinking skills. Yeah. It's like, yeah, yeah. Oh, he thinks he's the bee's knees now because he's getting attention from them. There's a screenshot of a post he put on Twitter saying about, I'm paraphrasing, but it was like, Atalanta, why are you lot all ignoring me now that I've given you what you want? You're all ignoring me. And he'd done all that stuff, all that nastiness to get their attention, and then they turned on him. And then it was like, okay, I'm going to put out feelers by slagging off this person, then I'll try that person. Don't forget, he was slagging off Tricky a few weeks ago. A few weeks ago, he was slagging off Fiona, and now I'll put out my little tendrils. Oh, okay. Yeah. If you're going to give me the attention, I'll latch on to you. Like he did. He reached out to Gertie. She gave him the attention, and when he wouldn't meet her demands, he turned. Critical thinking made me not get those jabs. We were not allowed into shops. I'm not going to comment on the jabs because it's such a thing where people feel quite strongly. Been watching your videos on Ems as trying to piece together the timeline. Ems claims she's not been on Twitter since 2021. Is someone claiming to be her? Well, so this is the thing. Like in the last one where people were saying that Gertie doxed her, Gertie posted a Google Earth image of Ems's car, and Happy Hopper went mental. And Happy Hopper was saying for months and months that Gertie was stalking her, and was, going to report her to the police and blah, blah, blah. There's multiple messages where she's posting saying, I am Ems. Tell me what's your problem with me. I personally, I believe it is her. The argument that Twitter user makes is, well, I could just say I'm Ems. And they did try to backtrack and say, oh, Gertie's been harassing this woman. And it's like, well, last month you were saying that was you. Oh, well, only because she's saying it's me, but it's not me. And it's like, no, you slipped up. You got angry because it was you and it was your car. And I think there was some comment about how messy her car was, like it's parked next to the bin. So what excuse have you got for having all that trash in your car? Or something like that. But this person was irate, and she's like, oh, look what she's posted, she's stalking me. Well, you wouldn't have that strong a reaction if it wasn't you. So personally, I believe that is her, and she's still at it because she admitted that she was trolling and being so nasty because she has to listen to people's issues all day, and it's a form of stress relief. So that's my take on it. Like personally, I believe it is her, and I think there's good evidence to suggest that it is her. Fifth and Grace is saying, we did what we wanted. Most people I knew didn't get the jabs, so we just all hung out together and said, screw the fake rules. It's Ems's car. So when Gertie was accused of doxing Ems, she had Ems's address because Ems had a company previously, and on Company House her home address is the listed address. So Gertie went on Google Earth, found her address, took a screenshot and edited it so that it was just the car. And I mean, even if you could see the whole house, unless you say this image is at this address, that's not doxing. Um, but she posted a picture of the car, and you can see the car is like full of crap in the back. And it was a very strong, immediate reaction. And that kind of was like case closed. So I hope that sort of makes sense. Locked in our houses by 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. for daylight savings. What? You won't. Is that Australia, did you say, Nola? Because I know, like in Dubai, my sister in law was in Dubai at the time, and they had to book their time to go to the shops 3 days in advance, and they were allowed an hour. And she said sometimes you're half an hour, 45 minutes in the queue to get into the shop. Melbourne, good grief. Yeah, Kitty. Hi, Kitty. Yeah, she did admit, she admitted to Wally as well it was her. Well, there you go then. There you go. I wouldn't have said that I thought it was her if I didn't have good reason to think it was her, if you know what I mean. You weren't allowed in. Yeah, in Dubai, they had like slips. So you had to apply 3 days in advance, and then you'd get this like permission slip, honestly, that said you were allowed out between, say, 4 and 5 p.m. And the car photo proved that that was Happy Hopper's address, was the point, because it's parked outside the house. And she said, "This is Happy Hopper's car, isn't it a mess?" And Happy Hopper, but she's stalking me, and that address was actually M's. Yeah, you're right, Anna. Yeah, they were M's as well. Um, I think Wally did figure that out, as you know, when everybody did. The police would card you. That was the suggestion, was it? Wow. Well, in Dubai, they have like machine guns, and even if you were out without a permission slip, you had to be exercising with a mask on. So unless you were actively jogging, then you could take the mask off. Otherwise, you had to be wearing a mask. If you didn't wear a mask, you were shot with rubber bullets. My goodness. See, that's a bit much, isn't it? Although you did have very low numbers of like fatalities and stuff. I I think I think it was an extraordinary situation, and I think everybody in power did the best they could. I know the women leaders did better than the men. I'm assuming Australia didn't basically give all the PPE contracts to companies owned by MPs and basically spend millions of public pounds, billions on stuff that wasn't fit for use. Because, I mean, wow. I honestly think people should be convicted for that. It was really terrible. But to shoot people with rubber bullets because they're not wearing a mask, Jesus. And what about exemptions? The people in power did what they were told to do. Yeah. Oh, the dog's barking. I don't know if you can hear that. Sorry if you can. The Great Awakening. Oh, sorry, thirsty. I think COVID was just a crazy, crazy time. And I don't think we even know what damage has been done socially, economically, the ramifications, um, the way the psychology of the nations has been affected for a start. And the babies, the lockdown babies, really, really struggled. I know there's like a theory that people who had the jabs get lung cancer or something. But the thing is, it's that whole thing, isn't it, of Have you noticed there's more and more yellow cars on the road, and then you see more and more yellow, like you notice more yellow cars. And I don't know if it's just that we're then paying extra attention to the people that have died of cancers or whatever since having the jab. Canada and Australia got it the worst. What, the control? We watched Oz because we quickly realised we were about 4 or 5 months what was going on. Yeah. Yeah, New Zealand, yeah. Yeah, I love that. No, they fly around in private jets while we drink through paper straws. Absolutely. Yeah, the hypocrisy. But it's fine, darling, because they pay for somebody to plant a few trees down the road to offset. That's all you have to do, isn't it? You just, isn't that how Harry and Meghan get away with it? Because they just pay some company to offset their carbon. And, don't you dare talk about the hypocrisy in that, darling. No, no, no. The glue in the straws is caustic. What? Is there like a paper straw scandal that I'm unaware of? I've worked in the funeral industry since 2012. In 2022, I saw more babies dying in a season than in my entire... Oh, carcinogenic. Is that what you mean, Nola? Fifth and Grace, that's so sad. I wonder, but is that because more babies were born because everybody was shacked up during COVID? Because there was a lot of pregnancies. It was like the baby boom after the war and everything, when all the men came back. It was kind of like, well, everyone's shacked up at home with nothing to do except watch Tiger King and get jiggy. Had to be home by 10, as if the virus knows how to tell time. Exactly. One of our journalists was shot by riot police in Ottawa during the convoy. Rubber bullet did a ton of damage. Yeah. Oh, Nola, don't worry. I just wanted to make sure that I was understanding what you meant. Because caustic, I was thinking of people like sucking in bleach or something. Sports stars collapsing on the football field. Yeah, I mean, they're all on drugs and stuff, though. Lord Jim Dandy wants to know, what are the thoughts on digital ID cards? I mean, Jesus. I think that's a bloody terrible idea. How is it going to be more effective? So in case you don't know, the ID cards, the idea is that if you're an illegal immigrant, you won't be able to get work because you won't have a digital ID card. But you already can't get work if you don't have the visa papers, is the idea. The people that employ these people are the people that will exploit them and pay them cash in hand, if at all. And those people will still exist, whether there's digital ID cards or not. I consider it in that way quite the same as like with the medical marijuana now, where if you pay enough money for a private prescription with basically any medical condition, you can get a prescription for cannabis, but it's more expensive than it is on the street. So, there's still going to be drug dealers, isn't there? The slippery slope being controlled in every aspect of our lives. Exactly. They want to make it so that then it will be encouraged for employers, excuse me, hiccups, have to implement it. And the thing is, if you look at what they've been doing with the migrants and asylum seekers, is they get like a prepaid card with their bit of money on every week, and they can only use that card at certain approved retailers. So when you go, say you go to a barber to get your hair cut, because it's a bit of self-care, boost your self-esteem, right? When you do that transaction, it's got like a merchant ID and it might say like beauty or something, right? You can't use your money on that card. And that's where I see them going. I see them heading for, if you're on universal credit, you have to have a digital ID in order to receive your payments. And then they're going to start telling us you can't buy paint to paint your house, because that's not necessary. You can't buy luxury items at Tesco. Chocolate biscuit is a luxury item, guys. I mean, come on. That's how I see it going. And if you've got money and you don't need benefits, you're fine, because they're going to say it's going to help stop fraud, which is ridiculous. Because again, unless we're cashless, people are just going to pay cash, aren't they? I'm a bit behind. So where are we? Does it mean pensioners don't need them, Jess? Sorry, chocolate. Don't need what? I've got confused. People were doxxed. I mean, doxing is just ridiculous, isn't it? And there's not enough repercussions. If we go against their rules, they can stop our money and our rights. Absolutely. It's like the social programs in China. If you donate to them, your account got closed. And yeah, I agree with the medical cannabis. It's standardized, it's pure. People know the THC levels. It's not the skunk extra strong stuff that can cause psychosis. Absolutely. But I do know of people who got one prescription and then why should I spend £20 a gram when I can get it for a tenner from the guy down the road? It doesn't erase the problem of illegal cannabis. Peaceful protest, yeah, protesters just getting. There's no free speech anymore. You're not allowed. Oh, I see, the digital card. So pensioners want to. Yeah, well, yeah. If you're on a pension, if it's a state pension, they'll probably make you get the digital card. That's what. This is where I see it heading. It's going to start with immigrants and migrants, and then it's going to be the universal credit, pension, and then it will be if you have a baby and you get the statutory maternity pay, you will need it. That's how it's going to go, and they're going to control what people are allowed to spend their money on, I think. And I mean, that's just dystopian to say you can't spend £7 on a haircut. Well, you've given them this money to buy necessities. I don't know. Protesters. Yeah, they'll stop you eating. Yeah, absolutely. Like literally, it'll be if you want to buy food, you're gonna have to get this card. I mean, already, if you want to buy food in this country, you need to have a loyalty card to the shop that you're buying from. Anyone notice that? I'll give you an example. We're Tesco's people because it's our closest store, and I'm a big fan of pizza. They do a stone baked pizza, their own brand. It used to be £1.99. Then it went to like £2.30. Then it went to £2.69. Overnight, it's now £3.10. Unless you have a club card, then it's 2 for £5. Unless you've got the club card and they can get your data on what you're buying, then you can't afford to buy food. You can't. It's just so expensive. Every week, I seem to get less for my money when I go food shopping. You never use self-service face recognition. Well, that doesn't seem to be the case because I'm still getting ID'd when I buy energy drinks, which is about as exciting as I get. And this thing, like, you can see me on the camera on the screen, and it's like, no, we need verification, and I definitely don't look 16. I mean, cash is king, but I mean, there's places that won't take cash anymore. Yeah, absolutely, Anna. Universal credit and benefits recipients forced into cashless and digital ID. If you've got medications, you might need luxury. Chocolate helps some people's chemo side effect. I did not know that chocolate can help with chemo side effects. But it's supposed to be so, like with your personal independence payment, um, maybe not so much as with the disability living allowance, but um, I I can't remember. I think I had like an assessment, um, and I said, "Oh, the only thing I get that I probably really don't need is I get my nails done with that money, like 20 quid a week." And she said, "Oh, why'd you do that?" And I said, "Well, it's the only time I physically relax. Like, I have a lot of chronic pain, I have a lot of stress, and the only time I physically relax is when I go with my friend to the nail bar and sit and chat, have a coffee, and be pampered a little bit." And she said, "But that does you good. So I would see that as a form of treatment for you because it's having a really positive effect physically and mentally." So, but that would be flagged up, presumably. I mean, I don't anymore, can't afford it anymore. But, now that would be flagged up. What about massage for people that have chronic pain? Or acupuncture, which isn't supported by the NHS? Would that then you'd get pulled up on it? It's a slippery slope, isn't it? Uh, Canadians see your prices and wonder how they are so low. We're being taxed into poverty here. I mean, I don't know how it goes in relation to salary. I can tell you, like, people earn so little here, and it's things like so if you do more than 16 hours, your employer has to pay into a pension fund for you. So a lot of places stopped doing full time. And then if you have a second job, it's emergency taxed. So they tax 50% of your second job. And I think you can change it like at the end of the tax year. But until then, and you hope for a rebate, which will come like August, September, it's really, really difficult here. And also our rent is ridiculous. Our council tax is ridiculous. Um, Everyone I know scrapes, watches every penny. This techno is age discrimination. It is, absolutely. There's a lady who's refusing to pay her gas bill, I think it is, because they want it to be done like through an app or a direct debit. And she's like, "No, I want to go to the post office or go to the bank and pay it." And they're like, "But we don't do that anymore." So she went to the papers because it is discrimination. Because you have the right to independence. And if you can't do it on your own without having to get your daughter or grandson or whoever to help you, then, it's not right, is it? Yeah, luxury items are vital to some. And as well, everyone just has the right to have a bloody treat. We shouldn't all have to just live on beans on toast. Like, people seem to think if you're on benefits, then you should just live on gruel and, never eat a nice dinner in your bloody life. Um, Legislation still has to go through Parliament. MPs should know how their constituents object. I mean, I can't believe they ignored the petition. I didn't know about it. If I'd known about the petition, I'd have signed it. But to ignore it like that is outrageous. It's playing out. Yeah, I've had emergency tax. I couldn't believe it. Charles doesn't look the same, neither does Catherine. A litre of half and half cream is $6. So you'd have to work for 20 minutes to get like 2 pints of milk. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Although, yeah, no, that is ridiculous. It's so easy to see when they use the doubles. I'm on the fence. Have his juggies disappeared? Scan the QR code, F off. Yeah, I can't stand a QR code. They never bloody work. And you have to go into different apps or go into your camera and try and find the button that does it. Ugh, it's a pain in the butt. I can't believe the price of half and half cream is like kind of like semi-skimmed milk, right? So minimum wage here is, I think, is it £11 and living wage is like £12.50. Most people can't buy houses now. The deposit, certainly in my area, you're looking at like a £30,000 deposit, and then the mortgage will just screw you. And then the council tax is also ridiculous. There's a French cyclist who's the spit of Princess Catherine. Ooh. Mark Carney said we would judge him by the grocery prices, and they've quadrupled in the last couple of years. And this week he voted down removing a food tax to make prices lower. That's terrible. It's 10% milk with cream. Okay. I don't think we have like a UK equivalent of that. It sounds like semi-skimmed mixed with cream. And we don't, I don't think we have anything that's sort of like that. Maybe single cream would be the sort of equivalent. How can you vote down removing a food tax when people can't afford to eat? You know, it's mad. I know it's mad in America as well. It's cheaper to get takeaway for a lot of people than it is to cook from scratch, you know. Gold, can you still get Gold Top? I remember my nan getting Gold Top when I was a very little girl. She used to get her milk delivered. £4 a litre. That's mad, isn't it? Pauline Ferrand Prevot is beautiful. Well, if she looks like Catherine, then yes, she will be. 80. So you're making £9.60. And you pay 4 times the price. That's awful. That's terrible. I do feel for you guys. And as well, I always think about the cost of heating. Like I know you in Canada you can get very hot summers, but obviously you have places that are really cold. And I think, God, we moan about our heating and how much that costs. And I think, gosh, if you live in Canada, it must be so expensive. We got here because we don't like echo chambers and we're cute, critical thinkers. Yes. I know some of you found me through like Megxit stuff. But you can be interested in Megxit and still be a critical thinker. And as long as you're a critical thinker and you don't like the echo chambers and you're not a fan of the drama and you just want to, you know, have a nice time, then you come here and we just have a pleasant chat. Mark Carney was in charge of the UK banking not that long ago, was he? If you remember what he did there, he's doing it here. Well, I'm going to have a look now, aren't I? Oh dear. I mean, it's not great over here. And it seems to be getting worse and worse. They all work for WEF. WEF. I don't know what that is. World Economic Forum? Is that what that means? But if Mark Carney screwed up UK banking, why is he in a position of power? Oh, I got it right. I feel very happy. I worked it out. Yay. Oh, it's like being in school. I got a rush. I got the question right. Carney was the governor of the Bank of England. My goodness. So why is he in a pit? And he's the prime minister. Why? Hello. I've got a dog. He's just come and sniffed me. And it's not even a Canadian. How did that happen? How did that happen? Because I mean, I will admit I don't keep up with general news. I'll occasionally go on Metro, the newspaper Metro, and have a look because they're quite sort of central. But I don't have live TV because I don't have a TV license. So I don't really, keep up. But my goodness, we call him a temporary foreign worker. Oh my goodness. That's scandalous. That should not be allowed. Isn't it like to be president of America? You have to be American, and that's why people were like having a go at Obama. The Prime Minister of New Zealand, King Charles, made her a dame. But you think she's a man? Do you actually think she's a man, or are you just being a little bit rude? Is it like the French one's wife that everyone thinks is a man? Stop whining. You're okay. Good boy. Yeah, not Canadian. He's the Prime Minister and he's not Canadian. That's crazy. Crazy, crazy. My goodness. He moved his companies, lives in America. Wow. He's not a Canadian resident. Good grief. So he's Canadian by birth, but he's not a Canadian resident, I see. Declared his citizenship to be European. Well, this man should have nothing to say about what goes on in Canada. Oh dear. I don't know if you guys can hear that. 51st state. Oh, goodness. Well, I hope you guys, my goodness, it's been an hour and 20 minutes. I hope you guys maybe learned something about parasocial relationships and how they can influence us. I'd be happy to learn the anthem and get this over with. Kier's dad was a toolmaker. Didn't he do a good job? Yes. And on that note, thank you guys so much for joining me and participating. And for those of you that just watch and don't chat, thank you for coming, and I hope you got something out of it. I hope you had a nice break from all the gossip and everything. Thank you, Chocolate, for modding. I didn't see Acrobat today. I'm glad you learned something, guys. Yeah, of course, we can revisit parasocial relationships because obviously we've been having our own chats as well. And I thought you might be interested in maybe doing something about anti-social personality disorders and narcissism that people like to bandy about along. They bang on about it and they're wrong most of the time. So let me know. You can always leave a comment and stuff. Let me know if there's anything you want to chat about. And I will see you guys soon. Okay. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.